Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to this video. Again, I clear my throat. I don't know if it's a nervous tick or something, but anyway. So in this video, this is not a review. Um, this is just me trying out these watercolor brush pens, and I thought I'll give them a go because with my watercolor, I typically use, just your standard, watercolor mediums, whether it's the, I don't know what they refer to this as. You would think I should know, right? So whether it's the standard blocks of watercolor or the tubes of watercolor. So, and I do kind of like these, although I feel like it's an extra step of unscrewing and then squeezing it out and screwing it back. It's not a lazy thing. It's just more of a efficiency thing for me. And so with the tray setup, I can just easily, just watercolor, boom, 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 and get going, so to each his own. So I like both. I prefer this because it's the workflow is a lot more efficient. So and I don't know what brought my attention to the watercolor brush pens. I know I definitely saw it somewhere. I just can't remember where exactly. So I figured I would order these and just see how they work. I don't know if, I guess, and this is my very first time. Well, technically, this will be my second time. My very first time was just seeing how it worked, and I just took a random brush pen and did a stroke. I think, you know what? I think this right here is from one of the brush pens. So I was just like, hey, let me see. And I was like, oh, hey, it works. But I haven't touched it since. And so I thought I would do a video. Of course, I'm not going to use all of these. Depending on what I sketch will determine what colors I use. I bought these. Sorry. I don't know why it always happens when I do a video. There's like, maybe that's TMI. Anyway, so yeah, it's just my throat and stuff. Anyway, yeah, that's part of the video. If you're watching a Michelin art video, then you know what's par for the course. So, but I bought these of the website that's called dickblick.com, and I know that sounds kind of sketchy, and at first I thought it was rather sketchy, but it is a art website where you can buy canvases, all different types of art medium, and actually was turned on to that website from Doug TeNapel, who is an accomplished graphic novelist, game creator. So I don't have anything on hand. Oh yes. Oh, this is heavy. This video is not supposed to be this long. So, guy, like creator of Earthworm Jim. So yeah, Doug TeNapel. I don't know if that helped at all. I was hoping that it would. There's another box. I was hoping it had, his name. But anyway, and one of his many videos that his live streams, he talked about buying brush nibs or brush pens, and he's like, yeah, man, Dick Blick, that's where I shop, and I can trust they have quality materials. And I said, hey, you know what, let me give that website a shot. And honestly, that's where I've been buying everything from. This I bought Was this from Amazon? I'm not sure. This could have been from Amazon before the fact. I'm not sure. Maybe not. But anyway, but all my art, well, my most recent art supplies, like this, bought from Dick Blick. All of my stretched canvases, oil-based canvases, linen canvases, all from Dick Blick. And again, you know, it's not a review. I'm not sponsored in any way, but you know, that way, you know, any artist out there, if you're wanting to buy quality materials, that's where you go. And they have tiered items as well, so you know, you don't have to buy the top of the line. Say markers, you know, you can buy a mid-level or entry-level marker, but they have all of the different options available for your artistic needs. So I'm just going to do something really quick, and it's already not turning out the way I want. But this is, I don't know, just going to sketch something, and then I will apply the watercolor. So I probably should have done that before the fact, but you know, why? But yeah, so I'm excited about using those. I just don't know how. I messed up here. I just don't know how realistically I can maintain, like how long the before I would need to refill one of the pens, and I haven't really looked at it in depth enough to know if they are refillable. But that would be a chore, because you have all these different, you know, just look at this. You have all these different colors, you know, so I think it's like a one-off. You know, you use it, and when it's done, you just order a new one. And I don't know. So, but we'll see. I mean, I do think there's probably great applications, you know, doing like fine line work, highlighting areas and stuff like that. So we'll see. All right, so let's do this really quick, because like I said, this is supposed to be super supposed to be a really quick video, just highlighting some of that stuff. So so don't mind if I go quiet for a little bit. You know, I just didn't want to do like a sped up video for this one. You know, I will do another one using those brush pens in the manner that I typically do in my other videos. So we'll see how that turns out. Yeah, for whatever reason, I'm just not what's the word I'm looking for? I'm not really, probably not good for this video. I'm just not feeling the illustration, you know. So I think in my mind right now, I'm just really excited to use the excuse me, the brush pens, you know. So it could be that, you know, that I'm just more hyped to try that. So, but we'll see. I don't want to add too much ink per se, but at the same time, I do want to add a certain amount of depth of field and all that other stuff. So So we'll see, but we'll get right to my obligatory valley line. So let's go. Let's just get right into it. Boom. So simple scene, some trees, and so probably won't be using. I shouldn't say that. Probably some more earth tones. Let's see. We got brown, and it would be cool if they had the color of, but yeah, nonetheless, it's all right. So let's just go with that for now. Trying to find the lightest shade of brown, and I'm not, so I'm gonna have to do some layering, and it'll be cool to see how that works. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, at the offset, I mean, it's very smooth, almost to a point I feel like it's almost too smooth. Now this is a bright yellow. I didn't, but we'll see. Like I said, just testing this out. Yeah, that's majorly too bright. It's almost like highlighter yellow. I wonder if that's even the color. Maybe it is highlight yellow. But yeah, but it's really smooth, honestly. Like I'm just gently. Let me see if I was to go full down hard. Okay. Yeah, it's uncanny how smooth it feels. Like I don't feel any resistance at all. Like I can hear the brush, and I don't think you guys will be able to pick that up, but it's not. I almost feel like I am on my Cintiq. Like it's so smooth. So it's, it's actually taking some time to get used to how smooth this is. So I'm trying to think now the application, particularly for my style where I do like just heavy blotches of watercolor. It's a very broad strokes I try to do with my watercolor because I'm not great at watercolor, and so I try to free up my expression with it. And so I don't know, this is interesting. This is giving me more like a sketch. I'm doing more like wrist motion instead of just shoulder broad stroke motions that I typically would do with watercolor. And so yeah, so this is interesting because all of these strokes, it would have just been like a one, and I guess I can do that still. You can. It's just so smooth. Like I'm not feeling it, let me find, where's my other, I think I'm missing a brush. So like with my brush, I would just, I would do like big strokes, and seeing I could feel this, I could feel that resistance, that tactile experience. With this, and I kid you not, I'm not trying to make it seem, I'm not trying to play it up for the video. I am not feeling this. I feel my hand against the table, but as far as the brush on the paper, I'm not feeling it at all. So yeah, so this is kind of, I don't know if this video is gonna make much sense. This is almost making me think that I probably should have tried it out beforehand, but hey man, live on the edge a little bit. so yeah, it's just hard to truly articulate, because even when I do like a broad stroke like that, I'm just not, I'm not. I know you can have a counter of how many times I say not feeling it. Not so much not feeling it as oh, I'm not feeling these brush pens. It's just, there's just no, it feels just floaty, and and in a sense, that will take some time getting used to, because the connection, there's not a tangible connection with the materials. But it is really cool that I could use this and see, like, areas like here. I think this is great where I can get really into small areas, and if I want to get really detailed, I can do that. So it's almost as if I'm just this is probably, you'll see, redundant, but like I'm inking or sketching. And so I think that's pretty cool and nifty. So I think I'll have to try it out with maybe my traditional paint brushes as well. But I think the next video, or the next video with the brush pens, may just be me using the brush pens completely by themselves, and then seeing what adjustments I can make. Yeah, so it's just, I don't know, man. It's just so. What's weird is I could feel that against my hand, and it's fairly firm, but there's just no. It's just so smooth. It's yeah. I just can't put a word upon it. Now I'll wrap this video sooner because it's 70 minutes. Like, this is my ink brush pen, and I guess it is the same with this. I don't know why, like, mentally, there's not a disconnect when using the ink brush pen, because it is the same feeling. I don't know why it's just dawning upon me using the watercolor, and I'm sure it's because I've used the watercolor traditionally with the paint brushes, and so that's a different experience altogether, right? So because with this, yeah, it's absolutely smooth, and it never registered to me that, hey, you know what, it's so smooth, I'm not really feeling the brush pen. So I don't know why that just didn't register with me, that it would be the same as the watercolor brushes. So I don't know. I don't know how to make sense of that. The one thing I will say though with this is it's a lot darker. Like, it almost feels, if I was working traditionally, the paintbrush, I would have it like heavily filled with the watercolor, and that's how this feels. It feels like, in order to manipulate the look, I'll have to go like really low. Really soft, and not go over that area again. So like here, I can come down, and but it's still darker than typically if I was using a watercolor, and it doesn't seem like it dims. And by that, let me see if I could find something really quick. So like this, with this, I did a stroke, and it was just, broad stroke, and I could trust that it would fade. And so I can add another stroke just above, or half the width of that initial stroke, and know that that will be a shaded area. And so, unlike this, where and this is getting kind of messy, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's just one. The opaqueness, I think, is greater, and with the paintbrush, it doesn't matter how dark the color is, I can manipulate the opacity by adding more water. And I think with this, it's like set, you know, because I can go like that, and that's set. That's not going to dry lighter than that at all. So, and if I go over that again, it's just going to be really dark. So I'm going to have to be very, I guess, judicious with how I use these and in what manner I use them. You know, it may just be if I want to add shading to another piece of work. So say like this, if I want to add shading, and let me find a gray, and want to add like fine details, then maybe I'll come here and do that. And maybe this is what this can work out well, and that it's still watercolor, because I would do that with my my acid base markers. You know, I would do that. I'm sure you've seen it. If you've watched my other videos, I would typically come back over and use those. And so this can be a great avenue for that, and that way I can say it's mostly watercolor, because as you can see, that's, you can see those lines in there. So perhaps that's what these would be. I just don't see myself doing like a full-on piece just with these brush pens, because there's just not a whole lot of flexibility. You see, even here I'm trying to go as light as I possibly can, and yeah, there's just no, you know, there's just no variation. And of course, you know, I guess one can say, well, just choose a very lighter shade of that color, and perhaps that can work, but I just can't see myself buying more of these if I'm not gonna really apply and use them as much, you know. So yeah, so like I said, this wasn't a review. It was just simply trying out the brush pens and seeing how they would work and in this type of setting. And then, you know, the other thing that I'm thinking of in hindsight is with the traditional setup of watercolor cubes or watercolor tubes, you can always just buy the same color, you know. So I know that, hey, this is cobalt blue, I can just buy this again. I know this tray, I know this basic setup of what's that, 12 colors. I can just go and buy another tray again, and I know what colors I'm gonna get. I know how to manipulate those colors, and I can continue. And with this, I guess, yes, you can just buy the same tray over again, and perhaps there may be higher grade watercolor brush pens, but for my level of skill in watercolor and the flexibility that I want, this is just too much of a fine-tuning equipment that I could, you know, that's my interpretation of it to use. And so sorry that it's kind of based, but it's just a raw testing of these watercolor brush pens. And it's not a negative hit on this at all. Like I said, I'll find ways to implement this in my future watercolor or even my inking videos. You know, I'll toy around with them a lot more, but I figure I'll give a raw video experience of using the watercolor brush pens. And so sorry, Wish the illustration could have been much better, but hey, it is what it is. Thanks for watching this video, and again, appreciate you. Like and subscribe, and until next time, grace and peace.